We all start as one people. When you look back in history, you see how three large religions, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, all started with the same basic beliefs. Judaism was the founder of both Christianity and Islam, an often forgotten piece of history. Christianity stemmed off of Judaism with the birth of their beloved Savior, Jesus Christ. Islam soon branched off after with the belief of their holy prophet Muhammad. All three started as one. All three have basic beliefs, and yet all three have such strong aversion towards one another. Knowing all this, we approach the major reasons for current Israel-Palestine conflicts occurring today. Throughout the years, going way back, the Holy Lands were, according to Jewish beliefs, promised to the Jews in Genesis 15:18. In the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, "Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates," a fact that has forever guided the Jewish people. This land also is a home to the 10 Commandments, which were represented by the Ark, which was inside the tabernacle, which was later built into the Temple of Solomon, and that is left of the west wall of the Temple of Solomon, or commonly referred to as the Western Wall, which is sacred to the Jewish and located in Jerusalem.
The Christian's connection to the Holy Lands comes from the belief that Jesus was crucified in Jerusalem, buried, and resurrected. The Dome of the Holy Sepulchre is still in Jerusalem, built on the exact place Christians believe he was crucified, and is right by the cave where he was supposedly resurrected.
The Muslims' claim to the land is the most recent. When the Prophet Muhammad went to Jerusalem, he had a vision. His vision happened on the rock where Abraham was going to sacrifice his own child to show his love for God. In this vision, he was shown the basic foundation of this new religion that was about to be founded. Later on, the Muslims built a shrine on top of the rock, which is now known as the Dome of the Rock.
Now, what makes this difficult problem even more complicated is that the Muslims built the Dome of the Rock on top of the remains of the Temple of Solomon, meaning the Western Wall is right next to it. So to add more fuel to this fire is that the Jews believe for that coming of Christ that the Temple of Solomon needs to be rebuilt, which is in the exact place where the Dome of the Rock is. But the Christians are really excited about this because that means everything would be fulfilled in the book of Revelation, which is in the New Testament. After World War I, the British Empire took over these holy lands. Soon after the Balfour Declaration occurred, this first mention of creating a Jewish homeland in the Holy Lands. After World War II, Palestine remained under British rule, but all the surviving Jews from the Holocaust who had no home to go to went back to their ancestral home. Fleeing from the camps, they traveled back to the Holy Lands.
Great Britain then returned the Holy Lands over to the UN, who split it in half, giving the Jews half, Israel, and the Palestinians half, Palestine, and left Jerusalem in the hands of the UN. A day later, every Muslim country attacked Israel, and America helped Israel to beat them. They then proceeded to take over more of the Holy Lands, leaving Palestinians with only a little bit of the Gaza Strip and the West Bank.
Currently, what is happening right now is all over the news. For the past few years, the leaders of Palestine, otherwise known as the Hamas, have been launching rockets into major cities in Jerusalem like Tel Aviv, and also Israel has been shooting more powerful rockets at them, killing one of the Hamas leaders. In the last week of November, there has been a ceasefire between the two to de-escalate the situation. Also, the United Nations have moved forward to create the nation of Palestine, but both Israel and the United States have vetoed the recommendation.
The impacts of these events are seen in the current issues of today. While many Americans think their lives won't be impacted by these events, their belief is incorrect. Not only will these events harm American pockets, where do you think we get our gas from? It's definitely not all from Canada. In fact, it's pretty much all from the Middle East. And most Middle Eastern countries are Islamic, and they definitely won't like our support of Israel over Palestine. Gas could rise significantly, or we could be cut off completely. Have fun walking to work every day. Furthermore, America is a Christian country. Many see this foreign conflict as a religious question. Who do you support because of your faith? Who do you support because it's a morally correct thing to do? Do the Palestinians deserve to have their homes taken away? Is it their fault to begin with for bombing Israel under the control of the Hamas? Or is it Israel's fault for taking away so much land in the first place? All of these questions are answered in countless different ways based on the opinions and perspective of the person.
One possible impact that could result if these conflicts continue is a full-scale nuclear war, World War III. Some say this is far-fetched, but consider this. Palestine is a Muslim country backed by all the rest of the Middle East. Israel happens to be the only non-Muslim country. If Palestine calls for support, the rest of the Middle Eastern countries could back up the Palestinians up against Israel. America is also Israel's biggest ally, so we would fall in line to support Israel. Great Britain may come to support us, and Russia could support the Middle East countries, and so on and so forth. It would be World War I all over again, with allies fighting with other allies. The only difference is that this time we have nuclear bombs. And just like Einstein said, I do not know with what weapons World War III will be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. There seems to be no possible solution to make every side content, but here's our opinion about the best answer that could result under these circumstances. To start with, the Palestinians should get more of their home back, not as much as they had in the 1948, but more than just a tiny Gaza Strip. Secondly, the radical terrorist groups, the Hamas, should be forced to take a less radical approach to dealing with Israel, or should be taken over by more democratic leadership. Third, neither Israel nor Palestine should be allowed to continue the killing and fighting. If either side breaches the peace terms, then the aggressor shall fall punishments, namely the loss of land. Lastly, freedom should be given to any person that desires to enter Jerusalem on the peaceful terms, to worship at their holiest of sites, without the fear of prejudice or danger. These are our basics behind our belief solution, that we believe will please and benefit the most people. It is all subject to opinion, as any dealing of faith is, but we believe that this solution will be the most positive for years to come.